20. What, according to Giv Patel, needs to be done to kill a tree permanently? Answer. Killing a tree is not an easy task. To kill a tree permanently, one has to attack the root of the tree. The source of its existence has to be destroyed by taking it out of its place of security and stability. The root must be pulled out entirely. The root, which is the source of strength of the tree, should be exposed to sunlight for drying and weathering. 21. Why were the family members in the story the child goes to the camp waiting for the narrator? Answer. Having picked up the money, the narrator started running. He reached home after dark. A furious Isam has convinced his family that it was he who had found the money and that the narrator has snatched it from him. Isam had complained that the narrator had made him carry the heavy basket. In such a hostile time, no one bothered about the truth. Everyone has been waiting to see the money. The whole family was against him. Part C. 22. Enumerate the gloomy imagery in the poem and the important figures of speech. Answer. Judith Wright's poem, The Old Prison, conveys the depressive atmosphere of a dilapidated prison through gloomy imagery and fitting figures of speech. The poem begins with an image of a row of unroofed cells, which suggests an empty space where many were tortured in the past. The wind, compared to an angry bee, and has a breath of ice, denoting both severe and painful punishment and loneliness leading to death. Words like shadow, hollow, bone, bitter, empty create a feeling of desolation. The poet employs a number of smiles and metaphors, comparing the cells to an cold nest, the wind to an angry bee hunting for black honey in the pits of the hollow sea, and a bone washed ashore, singing a bitter song like a skeleton in a dark closet. Carefully chosen words like mouth, flute, sings, song, cried, suggestive of sound creates the impression of ghostly voice of the former prisoners howling with the wind. 23. Describe how Rushdie put forward an effective proposition against censorship using comparisons and literary references. Answer. Rushdie compares writing under censorship to the air around us. Air is easily available and we take it for granted. He asks us to imagine air as coming from taps in the sky. When these taps are turned off, we would start gasping. He says that liberty is the air we breathe. Creative arts require freedom. If censorship interrupts art, it becomes censored art. Such works are given various labels. Rushdie's point to certain literary works with such labels. These works are Lady Chatterley's Lover, Tropic of Capricorn, Last Tango in Paris, and A Clockwork Orange. 24. Describe how Hagar, the abandoned woman, rose up to be the protector and caretaker of waters in the desert and of the whole tribe of people. Answer. Hagar, A Story of Women and Water, is the second chapter of Sarah Joseph's novel, Gift in Green. A ritual storyteller visiting the community in Athi narrates the story of Hagar and Ismail and their survival in the hostile desert, where her husband Abraham has abandoned her. A mysterious bird appeared and revealed him a water spring that became the executor of life for her. Hagar and her son wandered aimlessly until their food and water was completely consumed. Hagar and her son struggled hard to survive in that hostile desert. The water was almost completely used up, and she squeezed out the last remaining drops and moistened the dry lips of the baby. She was shattered by the thought of imminent death that might happen to herself and her child. If she died, then her son would cry in terror and helplessly watch the vultures feasting on her dead body and searching for her. This thought gave her strength to fight against all odds. She struggled against hopelessness and the element of nature that hit her mercilessly. 25. Critically analyze. The child goes to the camp as a story highlighting the constraints and conditions of refugees. Answer. The story is set in a refugee camp in Palestine. It is a time of hostility. Human values like honesty and friendship have no relevance. 18 people belonging to two families huddle in the camp. No one has work. Hunger is their constant worry. The narrator and his cousin Isam have to go every afternoon to the market to collect leftover vegetables and fruits. That is what they have to eat. One day, the narrator finds a 5-pound bill under a policeman's shoe. He grabs it and runs to protect it. At night, he reaches the camp. There, all his family members blame him for snatching the note from Isam. He had to protect it from all the members, even his bribing mother and grandfather. After some time, on her way to the market, a truck hit the narrator and he was unconscious. When he regained consciousness, the note was gone. He knew Isam had stolen it, but it was a time of hostility and hunger, and Isam could not be blamed for stealing it.